Have you ever seen a light in the sky talking to you with a majestic voice while walking in a dark area at night? Wait, let's back up a bit. Have you ever survived a freak accident? Well, have you ever passed a major exam with flying colors without studying much? Or did you beat peak COVID? Well, for your information, you've had a religious experience. And today, I'm here to share with you my own. I consider myself to be a person of good taste when it comes to music. I generally have no bias against any genre. I like music from every style and era. That means I pretty much listen to anything and find happiness and joy in listening to most kinds of music. My taste goes from Frank Sinatra to Frank Ocean, Britney Spears to Eminem, from the sophisticated compositions Queen has churned out over the years to the simplest of mumble rap music. But something changed in me when I listened to Beethoven's Ninth Symphony in its entirety. But first, a little backstory. I've always sort of enjoyed classical music, but it was never a thing for me. I made a playlist of certain pieces I liked, and that was pretty much it. Until I saw a scene from Amadeus, an Academy Award winning film, and was pretty moved by the movie. The music was literally the best humankind has ever made at that point. So the movie got me hooked. But Mozart just wasn't my guy. He was a genius, and that's putting it lightly. But his music was more of a show of musical prowess and ability than something that really connected to me personally. Then comes Beethoven into my life. I saw some scenes of Immortal Beloved and was really moved as well. And so I watched the film and heard a few minutes of the ninth in the climax, Ode to Joy, and was deeply moved. A few minutes. Surely the whole thing had more to give. It was more than an hour long. I have never dedicated more than a few minutes to half an hour to a song or an album, let alone a whole symphony. This was uncharted waters for me, but I gave it a go. When I first listened to the symphony, I unintentionally chose to watch a live performance. I then found out later that this was the right way to absorb this kind of music, because it's not only music, it's a performance. The movements of the conductor, the expressions of the musicians, the staging, everything. There's drama, action, and romance involved in this. So that heightened my experience even more. This is something I've never experienced before, and it made me feel like I should have been enriching myself with this years ago. As I was listening, I felt like Beethoven was taking me through a whole story, like a movie. His message, what he wanted us all to understand. While in a different language, I understood clearly the highs, the lows, from the grandest crescendo to the softest diminuendo. I felt it down to my very core. I had goosebumps everywhere and was brought to tears. This is what music should be, I said out loud in my room. The Ode to Joy, to this day, is the greatest sound I've ever had the pleasure of hearing. Here was the very voice of God speaking to me. And out of all people, he chose Beethoven, a deaf guy, to be his vessel of truth and beauty. That right there is my religious experience. While not knowing it to be at the time, it proved to be from then on. Because after hearing that, everything in my life changed. How I saw things, how I treated people, the respect I had for life in general was all changed for the better.